Hello and welcome back to Essential Excel. In today's video we're going to be looking at three functions: left, mid and right. All three functions give us the ability to extract text from an existing string, and each one, as it describes, determines where in that string we're going to start or where we're going to extract that information from. So we'll jump into the functions, go through each one so we understand what their purpose is, and then we'll jump into Excel and go through some examples. So the first one we're going to look at is left, and just to let you know, at the top right hand corner of the screen, as we'll be going through three functions, we've just called out the function that we're looking at on each slide, just so you can reference back to it, and if you're looking at it you can clearly see what we're looking at. So for left, the purpose is to return text from the left of a string. It's made up of a couple of parts. The first is text, so this is the text from which to extract the characters. Number two is the number of characters. So this is the number of characters you'd like to extract. So in summary, really, point one is we're going to enter the cell reference of where that contains the string we wish to extract some characters from. And number two is then going to tell the function how many characters we wish to extract. Number of characters is an optional entry. So if you don't put any value in there, it's going to default to 1. So by default, it will just extract one character. And then the function in its entirety at the bottom there is the equals left. We then have text followed by the optional entry of number of characters, or num charts, as you see it there. So moving on to right, and it'll be very much a spot the difference with this slide versus the last one. So the purpose of right is to return text from the right of a string. It is also made up of two parts. So you've got the text, so this is the text from which to extract the characters, and secondly the number of characters, so again optional. So if you don't put a value in here, it's going to default to 1, and there is the function in its entirety at the bottom. So left and right, they're exactly the same layout, exactly the same format. The only difference is the purpose. So one is going to extract characters from the left of a string, and the second is going to extract it from the right. And you can see they're indicated there. The beginning of the formula is simply a left or a right, as we have an example in front of us to indicate the function. So the last one we're going to look at is mid. So the purpose of mid is again to extract text, but for mid it is to return text from inside a string. It's made up of three parts, this one. So the first is text. So this is the text from which to extract the characters. We now have a start number. So this is the second point, what is the location of the first character to extract. And thirdly, we have a number of characters, so the number of characters to extract. And there is the formula in its entirety at the bottom there. So we've got equals mid, text, start number, and then number of characters. So this is a bit different from the first two, and there's also no optional entries here. Everything you have to enter a value for each part of this function. And what mid's going to allow us to do is, rather than like the first two where we have to go from either one side, the left or the right, this actually will allow us to now start extracting from within the center. So we could enter here that we want to start from the fifth character of that text string and extract X number of characters. So that is the functions that we're going to be looking at. We're now going to jump straight across to Excel. Okay, so we're now in Excel. First we'll look at left and right because they're in the same format, and then we'll jump over to look at the mid function. So we have our examples here in two separate tables. So let's just add some rows just to give a bit more space in here. Great. So this first table we're looking at is looking at the left function. And as we can see, we've got some text here in column A. We've predetermined the number of characters we wish to extract. Our result will be or our formula will be entered here into these yellow fields in column C, and then we've got a description here in D of what we're trying to achieve. So we have all the information we need, so let's jump in and put in the formula. So the first thing we're going to do here, or the first example, is to extract 3 characters from the left. So to do that, we have to enter our formula, which is equals, and then type in left, and then open brackets. The text from which we want to extract characters from is this in column A, so we just select here the cell reference of A2, and then we do a comma, and then we enter B3 or the reference, and it's just now covered that actually, but yeah, we just selected the cell reference of B2, which has the number of characters we wish to extract. And there you go, we can see that it has now extracted the first 3 characters from the left, which is the word the, or TH and E, if you're looking at individual letters. Okay, and then for the second example, we've got this time exactly the same, but we're going to extract the 9 characters from the left. So what we can simply do here, because we're being dynamic by pulling out the number of characters straight in there with our reference to column B, we can just drag that formula down, and there we go. We can now see it's extracted the first 9 characters. So we've got the green. So rather than our actual text that says the green tree, we've just extracted the green. And as you will notice, spaces within your string, they're counted as characters. So you need to obviously account for those when you determine the number of characters you want to extract. Okay, so that is the left function. Let's do to the right. So exactly the same principle. This time we can see our 2 descriptions here. So the first one we're going to do is extract 4 characters from the right of the string we have in column A. And we've got the same text here of the green tree. So this time, rather than left, we're going to type in here right and open our brackets. This is the text that we want to reference in column or in cell reference A10. We'll then do a comma, and it's just now hovered over where I've got our characters information here, so I'll just type in our cell reference for the number of characters, which is column B, and it's row 10, and then close our brackets. Okay, and then we've got the result of tree, and we can visually check that is correct because we want 4 characters from the right, so the 4 characters being the word tree, what we've got there from the right. And then the second and last example here for right, so this time we want to extract 10 characters from the right this time. And what we'll do, 1 because we can, and 2 to be lazy, is we'll pull down the formula, and you can see it's now done that. So we've now got green tree. So we've got the word green tree, including the space, is obviously the 10 characters from the right. And there we go, that is our result. So what we'll do is we'll now skip over to mid. So mid has an additional entry, as we know from looking at the slides at the beginning of this video. So this time we don't only just need to enter the number of characters we wish to extract, but we also need to enter the character which we wish to start. So the benefit of this is where, again, those last 2 examples we looked at, we had to extract or include the very first character if we were going from the left, or we had to include the very last character if we were going from the right. So that's obviously a bit of a limitation. So what we're going to do is step through the examples and we can see what happens. So the first one we want to do is extract characters 5 through to character number 9. So what we need to do is we've got our start character here, so number 5, so we want to start counting from, or start extracting from the 5th character. And then when we enter the number of characters we want to extract, we need to include that first character we're starting from, number 5, in our total. So to step through this one in a bit of a different manner, so we can see that the 5th character is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is going to be the G of green. So we know that the G is the 5th character. And then what we want to do is we want to extract 5 characters. So again, we need to count that G again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to then get towards the 9th character. 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, the 9th character, which is the letter N. So we're going to extract the word green in this example. So what we do is we do equal sign into the word mid and open brackets. Select text, as we had been doing previously, enter our comma, and as our prompt now shows us, we've moved into start number. So we can select the start number in column B, which is the number 5, followed by another comma, what's just now gone over top of our characters, but we know we can type in here the reference to column C2, and close our brackets, and that is all 3 entry points required for this function. So hit enter, and we can see we've successfully extracted the word green. So we've gone through our text in A2, the start character is in B2, and then our number of characters to extract is in C2. And then what we'll do is again pull this down, and we can now see what happens when we want to extract characters 11 to 14. So this time we've got tree here, and we can see that that's going to be the 11th through to the 14th character to extract. And the benefit of doing this all dynamically is if we want to change this, and I don't know, say we go from random numbers, let's say we go from number 7 and we want to extract 3. So there we can go, we can now see it doesn't make much sense, we've got EEN, but that's where we can obviously change what we want. Also with mid we can, if we want to, we could go from the start and go 3 characters, so we can again determine that we want to go from the first character for a number of values, what we have here. But obviously that's because it's the first character. If you wanted to do it from the right hand side, you'd obviously need to count the number of your characters and work backwards to identify where you needed to start from. So again, I think that's a detailed video going through these 3 functions. This video will hopefully serve as a good reference in the future as we start combining some other functions together. We've mentioned that a few times in our videos, but one in particular we want to get onto next is how we can combine the find function we recently looked at with this mid function here to make a good dynamic function or formula for us to use when extracting text from a string. What we're also going to do from popular request is we're going to start making it available for you to get hold of and download these exact Excel workbooks that we're working on and we demonstrate with on our tutorials, and hopefully that'll be one more beneficial document and resource for you to use when you're doing that. The main benefit being is you can actually see the formula in its entirety here, and if needs be you can copy it or just jump onto the exact example we've been using and you've been watching on here to try your own examples. Okay, thank you very much for watching. As always, if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. We've got links to our website and our Facebook page in the description below, so if you haven't already, check those out. Facebook and the website also great ways to drop us any questions if you have about just us or any questions you have about Excel. Also feel free to drop any comments below and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.